I've searched the world over and found the 10 best cable handles for your home gym, like this one, which features these beautiful ergonomic handles and costs less than 20 bucks. Or this one, which features 2-inch thick grips that are knurled and also very cheap. Or this one, why not that one? Sam, what the freak is that? Or this one, which is a lat pull-down bar that has multi-handles for neutral grip as well as close grip, can be used upside down for curls as well, and is awesome. Let's show you all of them now. Hey guys, it's Coop from the Co-op. Welcome. This is Budget Gym Co-op. We review the best budget gym equipment for your home gym, and we have a banger today, folks. I'd ask you to subscribe. Also hit the like button if you'd like to see more of this content. Also, would you like to see another listicle similar to this on a different product category of the best budget? I think you're gonna like these. But let's start with these bad boys. Many of these are from Amazon, some from other places. If you'd like to see those and purchase them, you can check out the link below, like button. It does support us. Thank you for that. But these are the HXD Ergo tricep handles. Now I will say, there are a ton of cable machine handles. And as you build your home gym, you start to get a functional trainer, you start to get a lat pull down, or say an all-in-one rack, you begin to realize how many freaking options there are, and also how cheap and how fun they can be to add to your gym. So I will not say that all of these are crazy beneficial for your training or gonna make you crazy stronger, but I will say, training the monkey mind so you wanna keep going to the gym is super beneficial, and in many cases is worth 20 extra bucks to get you back in the gym after you've been training for a long time to change your training up. Now I went to FIBO in Germany last year, which is like the biggest gym show of all time, has crazy expensive equipment down to, well, not super cheap stuff. There was a booth there called Tryon, I think is what it was, and they had all these handles that are designed around basically your hand, ergonomic hands. And that's what these are. These are designed similarly, but are in a tricep handle. So they're using this TPU material, which is like a rubber. It's actually very comfortable. It feels absolutely amazing. So this goes up against your palm. You kind of just want to walk around with these. These aren't very popular right now in home gyms. I don't see a ton of people getting these, but I think after you use them, you really like them. Wyatt, go ahead, put your hand on that bad boy. How does it feel?
Feels good. It feels nice.
Okay, beautiful. For tricep extensions, one of the benefit to these, this palm grip right here, which as you extend, it kind of gives you something to push up against. The TPU material feels quite good. I wonder actually with a lot of these China products, if the materials they tell you they're using are actually the materials, like is it actually TPUs or something else? But it does feel very comfortable. The other thing is they're using a stainless steel eyelet here that's very slim. It also comes with its own carabiner, which is nice. This can actually move back and forth, which under tension is not something I'd recommend. As you see, it's just gonna grind that out, but it does allow you to line them up and then use them. Or the other nice thing about tricep ropes like this is you can take them all the way through and do single arm exercises like this or overhead, no problem. These, in my opinion, are a winner and can be used obviously for other movements besides just tricep pushdowns, but face pulls work as well. I actually really like these, 25 bucks, pretty good. All right, let's go to the next one. Now, like most of the items on this list, these things have very memorable names that all of you know and love. This one, Amy Dream. Yes, Amy Dream. This is designed as a 2-in-1 D-row and T-bar handle. What that means is you can use it for 2 different purposes. Let's show you the first one. The first one is actually just like a typical V handle. Equipment that does multiple things is kind of the name of the game for a home gym. This one does that. So it's great for your typical V handle for low row type movements. As you can see here, it feels very good for this. The one thing I will say, if I was like, man, this is something they could improve big time, is these foam grips. I hate these foam grips. You could technically take off this hex nut, pull it off, and then maybe put something on it as a replacement. I'm sure people could even replace this with a knurled handle, which would be sick. But just off the shelf, the foam really blows on a great idea on a handle. So work great for these, but the benefit of these is that you don't just have the ability to use them for that, you can also use them for one of the most versatile pieces of gym equipment in a home gym, and that is a landmine. So It flips from this side all the way to this side, as you can see. You can wrap this around the barbell, put this here, it locks on it, and then you can use this for T-bar rows, which feel very good. You can use it for chest supported rows. Anything that you'd be using like a landmine for, this wraps around the bar and feels pretty good. Now, I wouldn't use this on a very nice bar if you have one, because there's no plastic that's on here. This metal is just gonna rub your knurling raw. But once you place it on there, it feels very good in a compact package that's also very cheap. All right, let's do the next one. These next ones are a dupe from one of the best designed cable handles I think that's out there, and those are the Prime Rotate handles. Prime has made these for years. I have a full set. I use them quite a bit. I love these handles. They use a paddle grip versus a normal grip. Now this is from a company called Coricom, and these are, I just call them the Rotate dupes. They are not as good as the Rotates, the quality that's being used, also how smooth they are, just what you'd expect, but they're also vastly cheaper. They're around 30 bucks. And for most people, if you're not in a commercial setting, like these are gonna last and feel very good. So these, like some of the other handles on this list, are actually coordinated for your hand. So you want this paddle on the right side, and then you'd put this one on the left. Now, one thing that they feel really good for is cable flies. So you put them here, as you notice, they rotate. So they're basically always giving you like a mechanical advantage for pressing. So here they just feel, I mean, they feel very good. And honestly, if I close my eyes, other than the rotation being a little bit stiff, which over time you could loosen the bolts up, you could also put some WD-40 in there. You could just do some things that would make it a little bit slicker and smoother. But if I close my eyes, they feel very similar to what you'd find with Rotate handles. But they're also great for pulls. So I was gonna do a single arm pull on this. The way I like to think of these is it's in between, say, a bar and using straps. You're able to still have your grip involved, but it's not like it's your limiting factor on any pulling movements. So here, it just, honestly, the angle they've got on it feels very similar to Prime. It just feels very good. If you're gonna have a handle on this list, some of these are kind of novelty handles and just like cool. These look like a novelty handle because there's a lot going on, and that green, it just like shines the paddle. What the freak is that? But truthfully, in use, these are some of my favorite handles to use, both for pressing and also pulling. The paddle allows you to still get a good grip without just taking your grip completely out of it, which is kind of what straps do. So these, 30 bucks or less, the Coricom. If you want to support the original creator, go with Prime, but this is the budget channel. Those are way out of your price point. These are a great way to add them, and for pretty cheap. Let's do the next one. These next ones are called the what? No, how do you pronounce it?
Let's go back here.
Enobai. Enobi.
Yobi? Enoyebi?
Enobai. It's one of those, the Enobai, and they are ribbed, and it is a ribbed handle, single handle. Now, it's using a baseball grip that's on here. One thing to show you, it's hard to show this in person. They feel like a lot heavier than what you'd expect. It has a full metal core, and then it has basically this eye hook on top. Very simple design, but actually really well done, much better than I thought they'd be. I just thought they were gonna be cheap. I just thought because of the price, they would feel cheap. These actually do not feel cheap. This feels really good. The rubber, I mean, the ribbing is kind of nice, feels good in your hand. The problem is like the ribbing is pretty small, so it's not like your fingers go all the way in them perfectly. And the rubber, it does grip, but I'm worried over time it'll become slick. But regardless, single handles feel great for certain movements. One movement I like them for is a tricep extension. So you can put them up against a cable stack like this. You get max stretch all the way through, and then you come up. That feels very good. If you want to work your grip, you could technically use them for things like rows, or you could use them for rotations for the wrist and your forearm just to strengthen them. These, again, are quite cheap, and I think a lot of people, these could replace something where instead of just grabbing the ball pin at the end of the cable handle, and a lot of people will do this when they're doing tricep extensions, or say double arm tricep extensions when you've got two on a functional trainer and you're going across. These are ones that you can replace those with, add them on quickly, have a better grip, and overall just feel better movement, and do it pretty cheaply. Now, I don't think out of all these are the ones where it's like, oh, if you're gonna add one handle, these are the ones I would recommend. But if you got a ton of handles and are looking to add something, these are actually pretty cool. They're also 15 bucks or less depending on the sale. Next. This is the Most Grip lat pull down handle. As you can see, it's very similar to the original mag grips. They made a change though, it's not just a dupe. There's actually, Hulk Fit is another brand that's making copycats of the mag grips, which I have in my gym, work great. The Most Grip actually adds something to it in that you have the neutral grip handle on the wide lat pull down, which is the one that I typically would use from mag anyways. There's a ton of different variations. Honestly, the wide lat pull down is the one that I like the best, or the low row handle works really well too. But they added some extra bars in here so you can use it for other movements too. So just show you on lat pull down. Attached to your lat pull down, this is the Ironmaster IM 3000 Valhalla, by the way. If you'd like to see a full review on that, go over to GGR channel. Lock in here, and then you can do your lat pull downs using a neutral grip. Now, the rubber that's on here is actually quite tacky, feels pretty good. You don't even need chalk. You could use chalk if you want extra grip, but kind of similar to the previous handles with the paddles. This is using a paddle too, so it allows you to have some grip, but it adds mechanical advantage, so your grip isn't typically a limiting factor. I mean, you can go very heavy on a lat pull down with this, and you're not really worried about your grip. You're just focused on your back. This is the most expensive one on our list at 60 bucks, but it's kind of nice because it does multiple features. And honestly, if you compare that to a typical lat pull down bar from most companies, it's gonna be a similar price anyways. So then you come in here and you can do straight arm pull downs. You can do straight arm close grip pull downs, but you can also take this off. You can throw it on a functional trainer cable attachment, grab your handles and use it for curls too. One of the annoyances is the rotation. So because it's not like a typical bar, like you can see it just like doesn't feel great for those. You could also, they show this on their site, where you can use it for rows like this, which does feel much better if you want to do low rows. And you can also use it this way for wide grip rows as well. But I think the best use of it is for the lat pull downs and to have the ability to have one handle that you can use for neutral grip on the wide end, but also close grip. If I was gonna make a change, I would actually make it even wider. But then if it was wider, you could also maybe add an additional bar out to the side, because then you'd be able to have a lat pull down bar with a straight handle that was wider, because this is just a little bit close than what I like for most lat pull down movements. But this is the Most Grip lat pull down bar. Let me show you a rowing handle next. Now, if you like the idea of the Ergo handles that fit around your hand, this is the same kind of concept, and actually from the same company as those initial ones for the tricep rope, but they're in a D-handle version. These are 20 bucks or so, and very similar to the other ones, although much smaller, fit your hand and fit a majority of type hands. They actually have letters here for your right and your left, so you know which one you're gonna hold. You then wrap them around. One of the things that's nice is this thumb grip here. So your grip goes in, your thumb goes in, and then your fingers go around. And like all the Ergo handles, it just feels really good. Like, it feels really good. I will say they're using a lot of plastic. I think it's gonna be fine for durability, especially in a home gym, because you're really gonna be the primary one using one. I wouldn't recommend this for like a commercial gym, but the handles do rotate, which is kind of nice. So then you can get in on your low rows. Now, this is a close grip low row handle. When I do low rows, I prefer having something that's maybe a little bit wider and allows me to get more range of motion. But compared to a standard V handle, like what we have here, if I was gonna choose between this one and this one, I actually prefer this one. This one's from Rep and it's a very nice handle. This is their Pro Series. The knurling's very nice, but the handle on this feels very good, and it's also a lot lighter. I don't need something crazy heavy. I prefer something that's a little bit lighter, and I like the Ergos on the handles, so these feel really good, even at heavy weight. So if I crank this bad boy up, let's go 200 pounds. Even though it's plastic, feels pretty solid. It doesn't feel like the handles are flexing or anything like that. Rotation is still fine even after a heavy set. For 20 bucks or so, I think they're pretty good handles. All right, let me show you another one. These next ones are maybe a little bit more pricey than some of the other ones. 45 bucks is what you're looking at if you buy something from this company. I think some of their units actually come with these. These are from Belza Steel, and they're using something you don't see with a lot of handles, and that's bearings on the inside. So these rotate very smoothly. They're also using an aluminum handle, so it's very light, so light even Sam could lift it. Just kidding. They are very lightweight though, thanks to the aluminum. And the knurling is pretty good. It's passive, but for like a cable handle, I don't personally want something crazy aggressive either. One thing I will say though, the nylon that's on here, it just feels kind of cheap for the price for 45 bucks. Comparatively to some of these others, I would feel like that'd be more substantial, but regardless, I'll show you. For these type of movements where the handles are actually spinning, it just feels very good. I'll also say the diameter of the handle is like perfect. It's like 32, I think, a little bit bigger, 34 maybe, but I like them better than say like a 28 millimeter handle, especially for pressing movements. Okay, let me show you the next one. A similar style handle, but a thick grip are these. These are from J. Bryant Fitness. They're a 2-inch thick grip handle that is knurled. Very similar to the ones I just showed you, but about 10 bucks less and features a thick grip. Now they do sell these in a thinner grip. One of the benefits to the bells of steel is they also have a bearing on the inside where these don't. That doesn't mean these don't spin, but they do make some noise when they spin, which isn't a huge deal, but there's also just more resistance there. But the big benefit to these is they're still using that aluminum, which I love for cable handles because it makes them light. They're knurled with the rings so you know where to place your hand. If you want to have better work for your grip, these are great. Also, if you use them in orientation like this, where you're pressing, they just feel really good in hand. If you've never pressed with like an axle bar versus a barbell, you gotta try it sometime because it feels just vastly better with the thicker grip in your hand when you're pressing. So it feels good for movements like this, chest press or flies, but also if you just want to increase your grip and make it work harder whenever you're doing any sort of pulling, they work for that too. They're also pretty cheap, aluminum with the knurling. Again, kind of the idea behind all of these is it's a cheap cable handle that to add versatility to your workouts and also make training more fun. These are a perfect example, 35 bucks. Next. Then there were two. One is the Most Grip. I don't even know what they call these. They're basically copying Angles 90. Angles 90 are a grip that I really like because you can use them, and I think they're perfect for a home gym because there's a ton of versatility you can use them for, and probably more than a lot of these. You can use them for doing pull-ups. You can use them in 4 different orientations. So this way, but you can also pull this through, put it on here, and use it this way or this way. And each one has a little bit different feeling. All of them feel good. So you can use them for things like pull-ups, but you can also take them off. You can attach them to a carabiner for other movements using a cable stack. So whether that's pulls or anything like that. You could also even attach them to say a barbell if you wanted to use them on a T-bar for rows and things like that. These are one of the cheaper options of this style. Angles 90 actually aren't crazy expensive either. I've had a pair of Angles 90 for a long time. I'm a big fan. These are a little bit cheaper. We'll put links to both below the like button. I will say the grip on these is not as good, and I don't think it'll be as durable as Angles 90, but they are cheaper. And then lastly are the Vimios. I don't even know how you say it. They are, again, very similar to the ergonomic handles on the tricep rope, but instead they're a single handle. So they're using the palm grip there where you can have the same mechanical advantage when you attach them to your cable stack. You can use them for all sorts of movements. I will say the plastic that's on here is not nearly as nice as the TPU that's used on the HXD Ergos. I prefer this material much more, so if I was gonna choose between these, I would definitely go with something from HXD Ergo. The quality is better than what you get from these, but if you want a single cable handle, these are an option too. The other thing you could do is instead of buying something like this, you could buy 2 of these and then attach your own chain to it. So you could use them like that or individual handles. I mean, if you're on a budget, that's probably a better way to go to save money, and they work great for that. So there is 10 different budget handles that I really like. If you've used any of these or you think there's other that we should look at, let me know in the comments. This has been Coop from the Co-op. See you next time.